So, is the Chiefs dynasty over, Keyshawn?
No, not at all. There are teams that have won multiple Super Bowls and have lost and won multiple Super Bowls and gone back. So, no, it's not over. Just because they lose one Super Bowl, the head coach and the quarterback is a constant stay when you look at it, right? They're the two that's still there in the mix with everything. And as long as you got Patrick Mahomes, you got a fighting chance. And I know it didn't look pretty on Sunday at all whatsoever. At once upon a time in the game, I believe it was 40-6, if I'm not mistaken. So when we look at that lopsided victory, we think, oh God, that reign is over. Dude is only in the 7th season as a full-time starter, meaning Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
So I believe getting Rashee Rice back, getting some pieces in free agency and via the draft, that this team will be right back in the mix next year, just like the odds makers. They have them plus 700 right behind the Philadelphia Eagles and right tied with the Bills and the Ravens. So they in the mix.
Right.
I would say that it depends. It doesn't have to be over but they have to take some knowledge from the team that put it on them in that Super Bowl and maybe direct some resources in towards that offensive line. When you look at it, since they lost Tyreek Hill in 2021, they drafted second-round Sky Moore, wide receiver. Second-round 2023, wide receiver Rashee Rice. First-round Xavier Worthy. You're putting a lot of resources into the skill positions. And what we've learned is basically I can take a lesser skill position player and Patrick Mahomes can still beat you with him. But you can't beat Patrick Mahomes can't take not being protected. Every time he's lost, it's because he wasn't protected. I need the Chiefs to start directing some of that energy, that first-round energy, towards offensive alignment and understand all we have to do is protect him, and he can get us there. That's kind of what Keyshawn is saying, because you got Andy Reid, now you protect him, and you'll get right back in the fight.
He just used my full name.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Keyshawn said. Yeah.
He never does that.
Why did I do that? I don't know.
That's what I don't know.
I don't know why I did that either.
I'm like, this dude just really called me Keyshawn.
I really did. I never used that.
Never called me Keyshawn.
Never. That's pretty amazing that you called that.
You don't never call him Keyshawn?
I never called him Key. I always called him Key.
Either. You always call me Key. Unless you read
Keyshawn
something.
when they put it in the
And the
prompter.
problem, but other than that,
Key. I don't know where that go from.
Because you was in your real professional breakdown.
It was locked in. Paul,
That's
Paul
all right.
Anthony.
Paul Anthony. Hey, my mama used to call me that. No, they don't have to overreact, and I'm not even sure if they need anything. I mean, for crying out loud, guys, they went 15-1 this year.
Yeah.
Mahomes as a starter. And we're begging him to get more pieces and this and that or that. Yeah, he got sacked more times than this year than I think in most of his career. I believe 36 times. This game was all on Patrick Mahomes. He didn't play well. That's all it was.
Well, he didn't play well because he didn't get protected.
Yeah, but that's all that was.
You get to see the boogeyman when you get hit.
Yeah.
The way he got hit, he gonna see the boogeyman.
Yeah, but they 15-1. But the way they got beat, it just looked so bad to where it's saying, oh, the run is over. It make it look worse than what it really is. They only lost one game this year with him to start.
Yeah, but if you think about it, Joy, the season for them never really looked clean and crisp. It was always a herky jerk. I know, but it was always a herky jerk. And you ran up on an opponent that wasn't playing with you.
But this is the thing I think. You win 2 in a row, right? Mm-hmm. You can kind of get complacent. During the regular season, like that's what I'm seeing from the Celtics right now. They won, so they kind of coasted through the regular season, but did enough to win. So now they're going to be remotivated this year.
Right.
Coming up next year, okay, you know what? We're going to get back really remotivated because they thought everything was sweet. When you win, that's all you do. Win. You just kind of like get complacent. Like we can just show up and win.
And you're trying to deal with all that you have to deal with. You're just trying to get to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Okay, now get back to the Super Bowl. And you expect, okay, now here comes our best us.
That good.
And you flip that light switch, and ain't no light came on, and you were like, oh, God, what we got going here?
That means they didn't pay the bill if the light didn't come on. They paid the bill.
Right. Oh, you're wrong.
During the regular season, they didn't pay that bill.
And that's why now, and then we also flip that and say, man, this man dragged that team to a Super Bowl. He made plays. When you start getting those linemen, the red zone, now you can start running the ball. we got to talk to the front office like we talk all off season about going to get Lamar Jackson this and going to get Josh Allen this. We never hear we need to go get Patrick Mahomes this. Now you have to start saying stuff like that.
Well,
there are things
15 and 1.
No,
They just need to get motivated.
No, we've heard.
That's it, really.
We've heard that they needed to go get, but they didn't go get tier 1.
Right.
They always
Correct.
got the dude that working at the local winter
Because you
donut
got a
shop.
guy
Correct.
that can cover up your deficiencies during a regular season because he's that good, Patrick.
Right.
So when you're that good, you don't need that much more. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
but they'll realize, Joy, that
Saquon
it is
Barkley.
caught up to them when they're looking at, for instance, Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley.
Right.
You start looking at that, you're like, you know what? We may want to upgrade in this situation.
For sure.
Because Kareem Hunt, look,
For sure.
only reason why Kareem Hunt was even brought in is because Pacheco was missing early part of the season, and they needed
They dealt with
somebody.
some injuries early
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
I don't think it's over, but I do think they'll take retooling a bit more seriously.
Right, yeah.
Because while you're right, they did have a great regular season by win-loss standards. We talked all year long about if this style of play was going to catch them, and eventually it did because they ran into a buzzsaw, which is the Philadelphia Eagles. And I do think that losing that way does matter to an organization like the Chiefs.
Right.
The Chiefs are a proud organization. That's a proud ownership group. That's a proud group of men in there. The standard is championships. They've won the AFC 5 of the last 6 seasons. They don't take it lightly that they got beat like that.
No.
A loss is a loss in the Super Bowl, but that one looked a little different than we're used to seeing during the regular season and in Super Bowls. That was terrible. 40-6
Right. Yeah.
at one point in the
one
game.
It was 40-6 at one point.
That's the whole world. Almost the whole world was watching when we got the ratings back.
Yeah,
the most amount of people that I've ever
everybody.
watched you guys lose like that. So I think they'll take the regular season more seriously. I think they'll take retooling more seriously. And you're probably right, Paul. Sometimes you just need to get
Slapped up a little bit.
pushed off the edge a little bit. Just get a little.
No, but
get a
you gotta
little stuff on
understand,
your elbow.
when you are the measure stick, you don't know how good the other guys with the measure stick got better.
Right.
So you get there and be like, oh, hold on. The measuring stick, the bar didn't been raised. Philadelphia just raised the bar, so now they're like, all right, we got to get there now because we've been here, so we ain't really see them down there come up and try to pass us. You're right, Michael. Joy, you're right. They do have to retool. What we were, even 15-1, we're good, but we're not good enough anymore.
Right.
Right.
We have to get better.
If the goal is obviously to win championships. But let's talk about the Super Bowl winner. The Eagles were dominant on Super Sunday, holding the Chiefs to just 23 total yards of offense in the first half. Patrick Mahomes couldn't even get the Chiefs offense across midfield until late in the third quarter. Saquon Barkley didn't have to have a big game, but the star running back sees big things in the Eagles' future.
Why not?
Talk.
Why not?
How many more Super Bowls will this Eagles team win, Michael?
I said 2 years ago that this team was in the making of a dynasty. And they went to the Super Bowl. They lost the Super Bowl, and then they started back up with a great year and fell apart. I still believe, I believe even more so in what I said 2 years ago now that they have gotten Saquon Barkley, because he is a steadying resource for this volatile team. The Eagles certainly can go and win more Super Bowls because they are a stacked football team. But they have the ability at any moment to implode also. They went from 10-1 to 1-5. I don't think we've ever seen anything like that. This team that dominated with 10-1 and then end up going 1-5. That team imploded. They got it back together and got back on track, and they got Saquon Barkley. Yes, they can be a dynasty, but yes, they can implode also.
Key?
Well, I don't know about the imploding part, because when you go 1-5, then you win a Super Bowl, it seemed like you got everything fixed to me, whatever little issues that there were, but it's year to year, it's fluid, right? I mean,
Correct.
It's year to year. I mean, there'll be other teams within the division trying to get better, within the conference trying to get better. There's a lot of opportunity for them to be a dynasty, 2 Super Bowls in 3 years, even though they only won one. Since he's been the starter and Jalen Hurts, they've gone to the playoffs 4 straight years. Nick Sirianni's been there. He's lost coordinators before, but he bounced back. You know, they fired the coordinator. The first time they lose the coordinator's head coaching job, then they move on the second time, and then now Kellen Moore gets the job in New Orleans. So he's got to try to figure out how to find the right coordinator again to understand what Saquon is, what Jalen Hurts is, what the receivers are, what the offensive line is. But I honestly think that you could possibly see a back-to-back. It's going to be a tough division. The division not so tough because I got 2 teams out of that conference-wise. It's going to be a tough conference because I don't think that the San Francisco 49ers are going to just lay down Deebo Samuel or not. Then you're talking about Green Bay, Minnesota. I believe Chicago will be better. For whatever that is. You know, you got Atlanta will be probably better with Penix as a full-time starter versus coming in mop-up duty.
Bucks.
You got the Bucks. So their work's going to be cut out for them. But if it's anything that I feel good about, it's that their roster is still intact. And they're going to add some pieces. You know that. They're going to go get somebody in free agency. You'll mess around and they'll have Myles Garrett lining up opposite of somebody.
Right.
You mess around, because Howard Roseman, that's what he does. He just keeps building the blocks.
And now those big-time free agents that want to end their career with the Super Bowl ring, this become a top landing spot for them.
What if they got Myles Garrett?
Not that they
They're
need
not
him.
going to.
I mean,
You don't want them to go get Myles Garrett. You see how bad that
they need him.
Michael said no, don't speak that up.
Not going to.
Not in the Cowboys division.
I'm just telling you right now, you heard it from me. What if they get Myles Garrett? That's all I'm saying. We'll leave it at that.
They got a team that can win and be very competitive, very, very competitive. But like dynasty, think about when we say dynasty. Dynasty, there's the Patriots dynasty. Who was before that? Well, Dallas?
Pittsburgh.
Dallas.
Pittsburgh.
No, before Brady's dynasty, who was before that one? Dallas?
Dallas.
And there's only been four.
What we call
the Broncos.
That's what I say. When we say that, when we say Broncos,
I don't know. I call it.
They got 2 back-to-back.
3 is a dynasty. Like a dynasty. Like a dynasty is 3.
Right.
No matter how, back-to-back is back-to-back.
And I guess
And then John
John been to a lot of them, though.
He retired at the end
man,
of
a
it.
dynasty is a stretch.
There's been a few dynasties.
There's been just a few, right? Can they win again? Yeah, but to be a dynasty, it's a lot of questions that got to be asked. But think about this. All the dynasty quarterbacks, you got Troy Aikman, one of the great quarterbacks, Tom Brady. All time. Now, will Jalen Hurts be an all-time quarterback? Can he be?
This new version.
Can he be?
We're not getting ready to get into this again.
No, I'm just saying, can he be?
Yes.
He can be an all-time quarterback because every dynasty then had an all-time quarterback.
Yes.
You know what I'm, all right, I'm just asking the question.
He's been there 2 of the 3.
I'm just asking the question.
Honestly, I think that they're set up to be a dynasty. I think
They all young, though.
to do that. They have the defense. They do have a couple pieces that they need to re-sign this offseason that I'm sure they're aware of. Josh Sweat, Milton Williams, Mekhi Becton. They have some pieces they need to retain. And go out and continue to do better, which obviously Howie is great at doing that. Dynasty.
But we're still in the middle of the Chiefs dynasty. We're still in that.
We are still
we still in that.
Dynasty.
That ain't went away now.
I think they're going to be at the top. The Eagles will be at the top of the league, competing and going to.
They literally
for a championship.
Paul, they literally have won 48 games in the last 4 years. The only team higher than that is the Kansas City Chiefs.
The only thing that concerns me
Detroit's
right now about Philadelphia is replacing Kellen Moore.
Detroit had the #1 seed and went home in week 1.
That's a very important point, too. That's a very important point. We've talked about now, okay, who comes in now and that offensive coordinator for this team. I also said when I was talking about imploding, I'm not talking about on the football field in the play. I'm talking about the personality.
I understand what you're talking about.
That comes off.
I just said they fixed it, though.
Well, that's what they always say. Until something else happens.
Right.
Until something else happens.
As of right now, all we can go off of is they fixed it.
We thought it was fixed, and I saw in the Super Bowl itself, A.J. Brown get a little roofy or whatever, and some funny stuff happened, and then Nick Sirianni is showing up in his college jersey or stuff. That tells me they're soothing over things right there. So, so I like it.
He was expecting a back shoulder, and he was running a go. That's what you're talking about.
Right.
They got that cleaned up.
Well, I hope so. But the whole fact that we're even arguing about the bad throw on the sideline.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I saw the same thing.
I remember, and they were, who was that trying to grab AJ? He was like, not right. Like, you can tell when he's mad. When somebody's mad, they're not going to listen to anything.
He wanted it over the top, and he wanted it the back shoulder.
Right.
Well, speaking of Kellen Moore, the Eagles will need a new offensive coordinator next season. He is going to become the new head coach of the New Orleans Saints. He turned the Eagles' offense up a notch this season after coming over from the Chargers. So, is Kellen Moore a good fit in New Orleans?
Well, first of all, they rebuilding. It's a rebuild fit.
Right.
And what I would say is a rebuild fit, anybody's a good fit in the New Orleans right now. They're the fourth best team in that division. Carolina's slightly better than them, and obviously Atlanta and the Bucks. They got money issues in terms of cap. Mm-hmm. They got a bunch of old players. So they got to figure, this is a lot. This is a first-time head coach's job. That's what it is. It's a first-time head coach's job. So he's got to be the right fit. He'll be fired in 2 or 3 years. No, that's what happens.
He will be?
That's what, if you don't get it turned around in 2 to 3 years, regardless of what your salary cap situation looks like.
Get a quarterback.
Regardless. They only giving these coaches like 3 years, man.
You don't turn this around in 3 years.
He gonna be up here with us.
This look like a long-term plan.
He gonna be up here with us. Hey, coach, what do you think about? That's what we doing.
It's a good job for him.
It's a good job. It's a great job.
For head coaching.
It's only 32 of them
now.
Yeah.
No better time than now for him to take it. There's, not really a whole lot exciting going on with the Saints right now, to your point.
No.
So it's going to be a tall task, but.
So the expectations aren't so out of hand for a guy like Kellen Moore, who has led top offenses a lot in this league. When he was with Dallas, when he's with Philadelphia, now he goes and put together his offense, his style. Every place he's going, I thought he had to kind of work towards what they were doing. Even in Dallas, work towards what they were doing already. Philadelphia worked towards what they were doing already and incorporate what he does over here. He'll get his own offense. And I think it's fascinating. He walks in saying, I just won a Super Bowl in this building. And I'm going to win another Super Bowl in this building.
Did he stay?
What's that?
No, go, man. Go. I said, did he stay? Did he stay in New Orleans or go back to Philly?
I'm pretty sure he had all that packed. They were already in New Orleans, and he just stayed, man. But I think it's a great opportunity. If he can go and build an offense, and the Saints always plays hard on defense. They always show up on defense. In that dome, and as much as he likes to throw the ball around, you're going to have perfect weather every time in that dome. This will be good. This will be interesting to watch. It's a great fit for him.
Paul, Michael mentioned something. He's had great offenses wherever he's been.
Right.
He's also had quarterbacks wherever he's been.
He don't got a. That's what I just asked. That's what I'm asking. You don't have a quarterback.
He got a bumper kit.
Right.
You don't have a quarterback, but the thing he will bring is a winning culture. And at every foundation of a team that gets turned around, I think that's the start of it. But I think this is a work in progress. If things are true to what Keyshawn said, because this doesn't look like a 3-year deal that he can turn this team around.
Man, these leagues.
I think we're all being very gentle right now, and I'm proud of us.
No, these leagues, though, man.
What do you mean?
I don't think this is going to be turned around. And this don't look like a 3-year project.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, this looks like it's going to take a little bit longer.
But it's only 32 jobs.
Yeah.
And it's so
it's a
hard
good
to
job.
get
It's a good job for him.
Good job.
It's a good job for him. He's been in the mix for head coaching jobs for a couple years now. This is a good job for him.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I mean,
they don't have a lot to work with.
Yeah.
Right. Turn it around.
Right. If Kellen Moore, if he can somehow find a 25, 30-point average offense that he's putting together with the talent there and start there, this will not be, I don't think this is a place he's going to die at. I think there's a real opportunity here. There's a real opportunity. And we talked about it the other day. We talked about Nick Sirianni. What is his specialty? We know what his specialty is.
It's offense.
It's offense.
Yeah.
And I just talked about it. He gets to run his offense at home in perfect weather
Yeah, and then
every week.
You know, if you know,
Every week. That's big.
but you know, Michael, if you don't have gas in the car, you probably won't be able
Right.
to drive. If you don't have a quarterback,
Right.
you probably are in trouble.
Right.
Think about Sean McVay when he took over for Jeff Fisher.
And that's a
That
good
team
point.
was bad.
Right.
But
They had a quarterback.
they had a quarterback.
Right.
And they had Ty Gurley. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
The team had talent. They had that team
Aaron
had
Donalds
talent,
and stuff.
But they didn't have any imagination on offense. Because Jeff Fisher was saying, don't mess up.
No, I understand.
on
No, I
offense.
get it.
And then they brought in a young McVay
Yeah.
who took what they had
Yeah,
on offense
absolutely.
and boom, made it explode. A few years later, they win the Super Bowl. That's what I was just saying here. Now, I
they
know
went to the Super Bowl.
Right. I understand. Now, I know they don't have a quarterback. They don't have a quarterback. But this is a great opportunity for him to build and do
Yeah,
something.
he may
to
be
show
able.
he
Maybe they
is.
throw money at Sam Darnold or something. I don't know. You know. It's, who knows?
Right. You
knows?
take Sam Darnold.
He did go back with the team, so he's going to be taking another flight back down to New Orleans.
Yeah.
I hope
Take another plane.
Yeah, that's what I say, Michael.
Plane.
I hope he ain't just taking another flight.
Take another plane.
On a
I hope
plane.
Mrs. Benson got it lined up, ready to go.
Yes,
He's in the
very nice
plane.
plane. Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.